Do y'all know Giannis is just quietly averaging about 30-10 while shooting 60% from the field? It is amazing to me how Giannis is continuing to be disrespected and nobody's talking about this man. And what really pushed me to make this video was that there was the MVP rankings put out by the NBA, and Giannis is not in the top 5. A guy averaging great numbers and his team is doing well is not in the top 5. At this point, it's just fucking infuriating to me, and there's so much we have to talk about Giannis in the season he's had so far. Because during the summer, I made a video where I said Giannis was coming for revenge, and gentlemen, Giannis is doing just that right now. After the Bucks got Damian Lillard, a lot of people said, oh, Giannis's numbers, they're gonna drop. He's no longer the #1 option. I think there was even that interview clip where he said like he wasn't the #1 option, but I also think that was kind of taken out of context. In reality, Giannis is not only the #1 option, he's doing better than ever, but something is telling me that this Bucks team is gonna end up being the best to come out the East. They started off the year kind of struggling, but yet in December, which is when Damian Lillard ironically starts picking it up, and that's what he's doing right now. Dame and the Bucks have been on a tear lately. They've been killing it, and this team looks like they're going to be a great team come playoff time. I don't know why people wanted to judge this team this early. Like, they're a brand new team. They got a brand new co-star. They literally have a brand new head coach. Like, let's chill the hell out for a sec. And sure, they're not perfect. They have their mistakes, but they're only one game back away from the first seed in the Eastern Conference. They just got to work some kinks out, and they're going to be fine. Truthfully, I think there are 3 teams right now in the East that are absolutely going to be contenders come playoff time, and that's Boston, Orlando, and obviously the Bucks. And at some point, I will make a just Bucks video because this entire team has a lot I could talk about. Giannis is the subject of today's video, and I feel like he has the most discourse we need to have. So let's start with the fact that in the past 5 games, Giannis has been on a fucking tear. Giannis in the past 5 games is averaging about 33, 11, 6, 2, 2, 68% from the field, about 33% from 3, and 75% from the free throw line. Not only has this man been putting up great production, but this man is doing it really efficiently. In fact, on the whole season, Giannis, like I said earlier, is averaging about 31 and 10. He's doing that while shooting 61% from the field. Now, that's actually an important statistic because this has never been done by an NBA player. No player has ever averaged 31 and 10 while shooting above 60% from the field. And yet, Giannis is on pace to do that. And judging by what he's been doing this season, it looks like it's going to happen. So I actually want to go back and look at the NBA MVP tracker and kind of just see who's in front of Giannis right now. And number 1, we got Joel Embiid. He's having a good year, but I've never really been a fan of Joel Embiid winning the MVP. I just don't like his game. But that's another discussion for an entirely, completely different video. At number 2 is Nikola Jokic, who is having arguably his worst stretch of games I think he's ever had ever since he became a great player. Number 3 is Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton has been killing it this year, so I'm not even gonna hate. Number 4 and 5 is Shea and Luka. They're having great seasons, but they're not having the season that Giannis is having because Giannis is at number 6. I can't make this shit up anymore. Giannis is at 6. What the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, I'm sorry, his team is arguably the best team in the NBA right now. He is the best defender out of that entire top 10 of MVP candidates. Also, did y'all know this is his 3rd consecutive season averaging 30, 10, and 5? You probably didn't know that because nobody gives a fuck because this is apparently normal. Like, why are we making what Giannis does just completely normal? Like, why are we not talking about this more? I feel like Giannis should easily be considered the best player in the world, right? But nah, it's Jokic, the guy who clearly struggles without Jamal Murray and needs this man. And I'm not trying to disrespect Jokic, but it is a fact. Jokic would only be doing well just by himself. The team would not be winning without Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is the point of difference on that team. Giannis is the point of difference on this team. I know they want to give it to Jokic because he's having great stats once again, but at what point are we going to consider what Giannis has been doing? Now, what's crazy is one of my good friends, Will So Trill, said it best, but he said Giannis is never going to win a regular season award. He said it because the media, they gave him too much. Oh, you already won 2 MVPs. Yeah, you can't win anymore. Even though he's clearly deserving of it, and there's not that many players that are even on the same tier as him. Is it crazy for me to say that I think Giannis is the best player in the world and last year was complete bullshit? In my honest opinion, if Giannis was healthy, I think the Bucks and Nuggets go to the finals. Now, do I think the Nuggets actually end up winning the finals? I couldn't tell you, man. I could not tell you. Giannis had his best season ever last year, but unfortunately it got cut short due to injury. And now that Giannis not only has a better team, but he's clearly developed even more, I feel like this is something that should be talked about. But nah, we're not going to talk about it. Let's talk about Joel Embiid being a stat pattern and clearly being a free throw merchant. Let's talk about Nikola Jokic, even though he's having his worst stretch of games right now. Oh, but no. Giannis, oh, that's normal. Let's just throw that away. Like, what are we fucking doing, guys? Now, I don't want to just turn this into an MVP video because quite frankly, I don't think Giannis cares about winning the MVP as much as I make it seem like he's trying to. But number two, I feel like this is a video that I should make, you know, months later, not right now. We're in December. But what I do want to talk about is Giannis and the amazing season he's had so far. Because Giannis is on pace to break history. This man is on pace to do some crazy things. Of course, they're not going to talk about it, but guess what? I'm not the media. I'm fucking Spex media, so I'm gonna talk about it. But first, gentlemen, it's happening today. I am not entirely sure when, maybe even before this video goes live, but it's happening today. We've had an amazing year so far, and I have a lot more I want to say in another video. But right now, man, let's just try to hit 20K. Genuinely, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. But yeah, man, let's talk about some more Giannis propaganda. Look, Giannis is due to have an amazing rest of the season, and at this point, I think people are just going to continue to ignore him, but I don't think he cares, and I don't care anymore. In my honest to God opinion, I think Giannis is the best player in the world, and someone has to take that away from him. I don't think Jokic deserves that title. I don't think Embiid deserves that title. I think it is Giannis's title. And with what he's done so far in this season, I said earlier in the video, he is on pace to make history. He is on pace to be the very first player to average 30 and 10 while shooting over 60% from the field. There have been a lot of great big men like Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson, even Hakeem Olajuwon, and yet they have never done something like this. The Bucks also have an opportunity to win yet another NBA title. What would it do for Giannis's legacy if he wins his second title in 4 years? I know people are going to want to give Damian Lillard credit, and honestly, he does deserve some of it. But just like last time, it is going to end up being Giannis that is the point of difference. The difference between them making the finals and them not making the finals. I feel like a lot of people tried to talk bad about Giannis at the start of the season because, you know, the Bucks, they were struggling for the first 10 games. But don't most teams, when they're a completely new roster? Like, I feel like a lot of people forget the fact the Bucks are a completely different team. I thought it was so funny earlier in the season they tried to destroy this team. They tried to take down Giannis, they tried to take down the Bucks, but yet again this team has started to prevail. At the end of the day, Giannis is not only going to be the most disrespected player, but the most ignored player compared to his peers. This man is going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time, yet we're going to forget about that because nobody talks about it. For fuck's sake, man, I got Giannis not only winning MVP, Finals MVP, matter of fact, so ignore what I said earlier in the video and ignore what I just said at the end of it because we just hit 20,000 fucking subscribers. At the time I was getting ready to edit the Giannis video, it just appeared that the Pistons video is starting to do pretty well. At the time of recording this right now, it is a 4 out of 10, has about 6.8 thousand views, damn near 7K, which is statistically an average video of mine, but I don't see it that way. I see it as a great video. Regardless, we hit 20K because of the Pistons. That's probably the best thing they've ever done this year. Nah, but real talk, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. I am so fucking thankful that we did it this year, especially with what happened earlier this year and just how much this fucking means to me. I don't think I'll genuinely know what the fuck I went through this year, and I'll probably talk about it in a second channel video because I don't want to break down on a main channel video. Like, that's just not what we're about to do here. Like, y'all have changed my fucking life. Like, there's shit y'all don't know. Because of the past couple months, y'all have done wonders for me. And again, I'll talk about it in the future, but for now, thank you. Also, I know I'm probably going to get a couple comments about why I have a chair behind me and why, you know, there's like a paper on. I'll take it off real quick. So this chair, obviously you can tell it's not a gaming chair, right? It's a normal kitchen chair. Well, this is one that my grandma used to sit at whenever me and my brother would come over. And on the paper, I don't know if you can see it due to the lighting. I'll put a picture of it on the screen right now. I posted it on Twitter. It basically says my grandma's name. And my grandma was my biggest supporter on YouTube. She was my first subscriber for just about any channel I started. Honestly, 90% of the videos I've recorded on any single channel I've been on has been here. I mean, like, genuinely speaking, she has been a very important part of my life. And if you don't know, and I feel like a lot of you might not know because you're pretty new to the channel, and that's okay. In early March this year, my grandma died. She suffered a stroke, and I didn't say anything on YouTube. I only said something on Twitter. I think a couple people personally reached out to me, obviously my boys, a couple YouTubers, I'm not going to say their name, but they did reach out to me. And that has fucked with me ever since. And we're in December. And now that it's like Christmas time, you know, I'm still kind of going through that shit. And one thing about my grandma was she was very supportive of me doing YouTube. She, like I said, she's my first subscriber. She was my biggest supporter. And I wanted to at least hit this before the end of the year. I wanted to show her that I could make her proud. And genuinely, I think we've done just that. Like, y'all have no fucking idea what the fuck I've been through because of this, but I hope, Grandma, I hope you're fucking proud of me. I told you in the hospital room right before you died that I was going to do something this year. And I told you that I was not going to stop until I... Fuck. No, I told you that I was going... Fuck, man. Real talk, though. Thank you. Every single one of y'all, thank you. Whether you've been a supporter for the longest time, whether you just subscribed because of this video and you didn't even know we hit 20K, thank you. I have so much in store for y'all in 2024 and fuck, man. I'm not crying on a video. Guys, go watch the Pistons video or whatever. I don't fucking know. We dropped a podcast episode, so y'all can check that out. Oh my fucking God. Fucking A, bro.